Gods of Death, Chapter 3, The Invitation. As time passed, it seemed that things would change for Anubis, doing the same thing he had always done. However, things began to change one day when he received a visit from his father, Osiris. "Hello, son," Osiris said in a boastful tone.
"Hello, Daddy,"
replied Ammit. Yeah, whatever," Osiris replied. "How is my newbie?"
"Father, I would prefer it you didn't call me a newbie,"
Anubis replied. "Oh, don't be so gloomy, my son, because I have some great news for you," Osiris said.
"Well, what is it?"
asked Anubis. His father rarely came down to visit, let alone bring news. "I was just informed by our glorious Ra that the gods are having a convention with deities from all around the globe," Osiris exclaimed.
"So, what does that matter to me? I'm kinda stuck down here judging souls," replied Anubis.
"Not anymore, as I need you to take my place at the Gods of Death convention," said Osiris.
"But, Dad, I don't think it's my responsibility to leave my post as the guide to Duat," replied Anubis. "Oh, just go already. I'm tired of hearing you complain about your job. Now that you can go, you don't want to leave?" said Ammit.
"Also," added Osiris, "I can take over your position. I mean, how hard can it be?" Anubis then spoke.
"It's not that easy, Father. You have to make sure you weigh Maat's feather just right. Be gentle with their hearts and—"
"Anubis," interrupted Osiris, "I can handle it. Also, it's time for you to leave."
"Don't worry, newbie," said Ammit in a joking tone. "We won't destroy all of Duat."
Just like that, a deity who had stood in Duat for centuries was now going to leave and learn about the other gods of death, who are just like them. He was scared, but also excited to finally see what was going on in the rest of the world and meet new faces and to finally get out of the gloomy chambers of Duat. Osiris joined Anubis on his way out of Duat, stepping into corridors that were both familiar and unknown. As they walked, Osiris explained the purpose of the convention. "Alright, newbie, I want you to discuss matters concerning the afterlife, the role of death deities, and the changing beliefs of humans with all these other gods, and report back to me all the information. You got it?"
"Sure, Dad,"
replied Anubis. He boarded a mystic boat. "Make me as proud as your brother Horus makes me," Osiris said before pushing the boat into the sky. The vessel began to flow across the river of darkness into the sky. Anubis hadn't been in one of the gods' boats in quite some time. Other Egyptian deities used these vessels to traverse between the sky, earth, and Duat. Initial speed had launched him right out of the ground into the sky. Anubis glanced below, observing the modern landscape of Egypt passing by. A sight to behold. The once sacred land had transformed into a bustling metropolis, adorned with symbols and religions whose legacy outlived his own. The sight filled him with a profound sense of melancholy, prompting him to shift his gaze upwards. To his astonishment, Anubis spotted his great-great-great-grandfather, Ra, in his solar berg. Accustomed to darkness, the radiant brilliance of Ra was almost unbelievable as Ra began to approach towards Anubis. The younger deity felt a mixture of awe and trepidation as Ra's solar baroque drew near. The radiant glow of Ra enveloped Anubis, momentarily dispelling the darkness that usually surrounded him. Anubis felt a sense of warmth and energy, unlike anything he had experienced before. Ra's presence was overwhelming yet comforting. Anubis felt a deep reverence for his ancestor. "Anubis, my descendant," Ra's voice boomed. He was gentle and soothing. "It has been a long time since we last met. I have watched over you from afar, proud of the guardian you have become." Anubis, humbled by Ra's words, bowed before him. "Thank you, great Ra. Your presence fills me with honor and purpose. Now, while these boats may be swift and sure, you might need a push to reach the convention of the gods," Ra explained. "It is being held in the land of Greece, on Mount Olympus. Only elder gods like myself can traverse between these domains of each god's kingdom. The light from the sun, which comes from my being, I grant you the speed and diligence to access the land you seek." A powerful light, unlike any other, erupted and blinded Anubis as his boat rapidly accelerated to an unfamiliar location. When he opened his eyes, Ra was gone, and he found himself gazing at a vast mountain range in an unknown land. Below, he saw deep blue water surrounding numerous small islands. His boat remained and steady in the sky, heading towards the largest mountain in the region. At the top of the mountain stood a glorious temple, Mount Olympus, the residence of the Greek gods. The boat stopped right outside the gate of the glorious temple, and Anubis stepped out, feeling slightly dizzy from the trip. He saw that Mount Olympus, despite its remote location, was busy and bustling all sorts of gods from over the lands who had come to meet there. Anubis begins to walk in, but a giant stranger blocked his way. A man wearing a lion's mane that reminded him of Mai's, the Egyptian god of war. This man was also wielding the incredibly large club. After giving Anubis a looking over, the man spoke. "What are you doing in the land of Olympus?" he said in a domineering tone. While Anubis wasn't that familiar with these lands, he had heard of the Greek god who resembled this man. "You're Hercules, right?" he asked. "Actually, my name is Heracles. Only the Romans called me Hercules, and you still haven't answered my question. Who are you?" It seemed that Anubis was not off to a good start. The first Greek god he had met, so he tried to remedy the situation.
Well, I'm sorry to have offended you. Heracles, I'm Anubis, the god of death from Egypt.
"Another god of death? You're not supposed to be up here," Heracles replied.
What do you mean? I was invited here by...
Anubis began, but he was interrupted. "Look here, mutt. Zeus doesn't want any gods of death on Mount Olympus. That's why he has Hades running your meeting in the underworld."
There must be some kind of mistake. My father told me about a meeting here,
Anubis insisted. "Well, your father is an idiot. Now get out of here before I beat you with my club," replied Heracles.
Just because you're a giant doesn't mean I'm afraid of you,
Anubis retorted angrily.
I mummified pharaohs worth more than you.
There might have been a fight if not for another Greek god stepping between them.
Hold your horses, Heracles. I'll handle our guest. Besides, he's an old friend of mine,
said Hermes, the Greek messenger god. "You're lucky Hermes showed up, little doggy, or it had wrestled you into submission like it did to Cerberus," Heracles sneered before stepping away. Hermes turned to Anubis.
I apologize for that, old friend. Heracles had the giant chip on the shoulder ever since Hera made him kill his family.
"She made him do what?" Anubis replied in shock. He wasn't used to people nonchalantly saying such bizarre things.
Oh, never mind that. How have you been? Haven't seen you in a few thousand years. Remember when you messed with the Romans?
"Yeah, I seem to recall you convinced them that we were the same god. I honestly still don't get the joke," Anubis replied.
Come on, Hermanubis is funny. It sounds like the name of our hypothetical child. Anyway, I didn't expect to see you again after all that hard work you do down in Duat, Hermes said.
"Well, it's living," replied Anubis.
"We're like a living hell."
Hermes laughed at his own bad joke.
"I'm sorry, that was terrible. Anyway, right, you've got a meeting to go to, and you're in luck since I'm one of the few that can cross between the mortal realm and the underworld. You'll have to take a trip with me, so hang on."
Hermes swiftly grabbed Anubis by the arm, and before Anubis could react, they were both enveloped in a whirlwind of light and sound. The scenery around them blurred as they descended to the underworld. Anubis felt a strange sensation of being both weightless and heavy at the same time, a feeling he had never experienced in his domain. End of chapter. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more Gods of Death audiobooks. Like what you see, make sure to check out the description for more information about the Gods of Death book and my other books. Thank you for watching.